So I kicked the guy, right? So tables and chairs go flying. The guy knocks his head on a table, and I look at him and like I'm scared, okay? So why did I have such powerful kicks? Because like I explained in the past in other videos, at age 15 I was practicing kung fu with my brother Roger, and Roger was fast like lightning, and I got kicked so much in the legs and everywhere, especially in the legs, because my brother read it from Bruce Lee that you have to kick in the legs because it's harder to block, if the guy's got to bend down. So why did I kick this guy? So I'm like 15. I'm in my friend's restaurant. Tony Piccolo's father had the restaurant called Belvoir Pizzeria, and I will talk more about that because I was there every day of my life for many, many, many years. And this guy like had a grip. He was a guy delivering pizza, and he had a grip like a vice grips. And maybe it was only a sign of affection, but he would squeeze my friggin' arm, so hard. And I used to tell him, "Holy shit, man, leave me alone." And then after a while, I said, "Man, leave me alone, or one day you're gonna get it." You know what I mean? So one day, that's it. I kicked him, and he went flying. But then I was scared. And the point of this video is, in life, you don't just live. You live and you listen to the radio. You live and you listen to people talk. You live and, life goes on. And then you hear on the radio, "Hey, this guy punched a guy and the guy is dead." Okay? And so, like, I was afraid maybe the guy is dead because he knocked his head on the table in a way that he could have killed him. So after this experience, I even had to back down of situations because from then on I was too afraid to do anything. So I'll give you an I'm gonna give millions of examples, okay? But just an example. Like I had this crush on this girl, right? Not for many years, because I was young, but for a long time I had this crush on this girl. She used to work at where I worked in roller skating, right? She used to work there at a place called Music Rond. I don't know how you pronounce that there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And, you know, people knew that I was practicing Kung Fu with Roger. So I had this best friend, right, that I'm not going to say his name, and his younger brother, like a tiny, tiny, tiny young brother, he was into hockey and he was a fighter. And then we're at my friend's well, at that age, it's your parents' house, but I was at my friend's and his father wasn't there. And this kid started to beat me up. Like he jumped on me, right? And this girl that I had a crush on was in front of me, and I couldn't do nothing to the kid, like I was trying to defend myself, but this kid was beating me, and I was red like a tomato trying to. So it's a very, very humiliating situation to get beaten up by someone you have a crush on, and but I couldn't do nothing. And then my friend said, "Hey, leave the guy alone." Jesus Christ, and yes, after that in my life there is a few situations when I couldn't back down, that I was really, really scared. And one time I almost got killed by a motorcycle gang because of this, but that's what I mean. If you can get out of it, don't do anything, because this happens fast, and then you can end up in jail for the rest of your life because you did a bad move. So if you can avoid to make a bad move, don't make it. I don't know what to say. You can always defend yourself a little bit, but to the, like put the guy on the floor or something, like get out of the situation, but not extreme. That's what I mean there.